Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and you're watching another live edition of the LockerGnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short, your daily dose of geek news, product views, and answers that you can use, like an answer to the question, why did he say product views? I thought he changed that to reviews a while ago. Well, it's because I actually have products on my desk today. Can you believe that? Hello. How are you? Aren't you glad this is live? All right, I'm going to go ahead and back up from the camera and just show you. This is one of the products. Valentine's Day is coming up, and I'm preparing with a chocolate tin that I'm not going to actually open because it's got Darth Vader on it. This serves as a reminder that I love you. That's what a heart does. And it sounds like that, too, especially when you reach my age. They don't call it a ticker for nothing. Let me go ahead and make sure that the credits roll to give the people the credit that they deserve for being patrons at a certain level. I'm glad you were able to join me live. If you are joining me live after this particular broadcast, we are going to do our patron hangout too. I'll be staying briefly and chatting with people as I try to do every weekday that we do this. It's a Friday. That means it's an AMA. We've got two AMA threads. One AMA thread is patrons. That is patron-driven. That's the one I'm going to do today. And then the second one we'll do on Monday. That's the next TLDR you see. And that's going to be questions asked by the rest of the community. So I give everybody a chance to get their questions answered by me. If it's a question that I can't answer or that I want to answer, I always reserve the right to answer or not answer the questions being asked. Wesley Simmons asks, would you be okay if I did a 5 to 10 minute parody of your vlog? If you'd like, you can review it before it goes public. If you're not okay, I hate editing video anyway. Well, if you hate editing video, why would you do that, Wesley? I think it's fine. You want to make a parody? Go for it. Knock yourself out. I don't have to see it before you publish it, but, if you want me to, I could take a look. I appreciate that. That's kind of like fan art. I like fan art. And that's really what I really appreciate that video if you did it because you don't like editing video. So we're a lot like each other in that sense. Barry asks, what podcasts are you into at the moment? I've been told that I need to get into something called Serial. That has not yet happened. As many of you know, I'm still a fan of This American Life. Huge fan, really. Beyond that, I don't know if I've got any favorite must-listen-to podcasts.
I have one.
Okay.
Front Page Tech. They have a great podcast.
Okay. So, next...
hear more of John's voice.
Okay. Tom Hoskins asks, do you think that claims of phones being bugged by governments from various countries is true? Some people are saying that Chinese built phones from companies like Xiaomi and send personal data to their respective government. Would something like that affect the phone you purchase? I don't know. I'm not going to say anything about it because, I just don't know. Could that be true? Absolutely. But then again, the same could be said about the government that we have here in the United States of America. I don't know. I don't have the answers to those questions. I think that it's possible. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, last week it was ruled that any kind of entity, a government entity, that wanted to effectively redirect wireless calls and intercept wireless calls, it could be done without a search warrant. I believe that's what was said last week. I don't follow a lot of the policies, and I certainly don't talk about a lot of the policies, even though they are far-reaching. It would be interesting if these companies and these brands that push these products forward, even though they are affordable, sometimes you have to wonder, why are they so affordable? How did they make them so affordably? What are they getting from this? And this is not me putting on a tinfoil hat. I'm not saying it's a conspiracy theory at all. That's why I don't really want to talk too deeply about it. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? I don't know if I'd go that far. I haven't seen any amount of evidence to prove otherwise. And I'd imagine that if they were basing this upon Android, then someone who is far more intelligent than I am in relation to understanding how Android as a platform works would be able to surface valid information in relation to these devices being compromised. So I think, and not even compromised at a system level, just compromised, period, by the approach of how they're releasing these devices to the marketplace. Earl Green kind of chimes in and says, I think when we buy any type of connected device, be it a phone, tablet, or computer, that we can have no real expectation of complete hate privacy. And that is true. I think privacy has long been an illusion. But I also wouldn't be walking down a dark alley with $50 bills hanging out of my pocket either. So sometimes you have to be aware of what you're kind of jumping into. And I don't know enough about it. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? I have not seen any heavy amount of evidence from resources and entities and people who I trust to tell me, hey, don't do this, here's why. So there you go. That's the answer to the question, Tom, as best I can answer it. Max Van de Weel asks, what was the most overrated tech drama of 2014? He mentions Bendgate would be his pick. A tech drama. I guess I hadn't really thought about it, but I guess I'll go with Bendgate. I mean, a lot inside of technology, I think, was controversial for a good reason, or at least it started out that way. And while I have not had any bending issues with my iPhone 6, as Apple had reported when it kind of had to, the bent iPhone 6 Pluses, when they were returned to the store, were replaced. And for good reason, the phones shouldn't have bent. I would expect that if they re-engineer anything, it probably won't happen with the iPhone 6S Plus. Oh, God. Apple's naming conventions are starting to get out of hand. But I would think that the next iteration, the next redesign would probably or hopefully compensate for that, such that there wasn't an issue. Some phones are absolutely engineered, hardware-wise, to be more durable. And I don't know if Apple necessarily did its homework as well as it had in the past. And I'm only saying that not because I have any sufficient evidence. I think it's easy to bend a phone. It is. And I've seen bent phones and bent devices and destroyed devices in the past. Apple doesn't have the market cornered on that in any way. The thing that I'm really hesitant about is knowing how Apple has been treating software lately. Makes me kind of wonder if they've been doing the same thing with hardware as well. Not taking shortcuts, just not seeing it through the way they should be seeing it through, or what we've come to expect from Apple as a company. It's really now not operating any differently than we've seen from other companies in terms of hardware engineering or in terms of software value on top of the hardware that they might be crafting themselves. So I'm going to go with you on this one, if only because as I think back to the tech drama, because there was a lot of it, Bendgate was the biggest one, not to mention the biggest phone from Apple. But I have not yet experienced a bend issue with my phone, and I keep it in my pocket all the time. Not a 6 Plus. I haven't even touched a 6 Plus. I've seen it maybe for a total of 10 seconds. Anybody who might have a 6 Plus. I don't know anybody who has a 6 Plus personally, I guess. Or if I do, I don't ask, ooh, can I see the phone? I don't walk into the Apple store and touch the devices. Number one, because a lot of people touch the devices in stores. Ugh. No, don't want to touch those devices. Don't even want to look at them. I mean, they're exciting, but they're a phone. Oh, I know I shouldn't say that. Tony! Oh, and by the way, someone was guessing after we posted a short video on my Instagram feed. Someone was saying that I got in trouble from Apple, and that's why I had to remove the Apple logo from my iMac here. That's not why. But you can see that the Apple logo does not... Did anybody notice this today or yesterday or the day before when we came back to streaming here after they repaired the ceiling? There's no Apple logo here. That's still the same iMac. No Apple logo. Can you see it? No, you can't. It's not a video trick. You know me. I'm not a video editor. I'm not gonna go that far, especially with live video. But yeah, the logo's gone. Apple did not get mad at me. I'm not in trouble. Apple did not ask me to remove the logo. That's not why I didn't want to stare at it day in and day out. What?
I did. I asked you to.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
I wanted to do it. Tony asks, oh, question number 6. So apparently this is, he had more questions? I didn't see his earlier questions. Although I know that you don't like Starbucks, but if you had to drink a Starbucks coffee beverage, what would it be besides black coffee? Well, I don't like the way Starbucks necessarily crafts their coffee in store, although their Clover machines are pretty decent. I've grown accustomed to their espresso shots, and they sit well enough. That wouldn't be the coffee I would prefer to have, but that being said, the coffee that I make at home is Starbucks roasts. And when John came over, he tried it and he really liked it. He was surprised that it was a Starbucks bean. Starbucks. Two different entities altogether. One looks great and the other one tastes great. Starbucks. You know, that would have been an amazing name for a son or a daughter. I just thought of that. Starbuck. But they'd all think that it was named after Starbuck. What?
This wouldn't be. I got you this today. I'm leaving.
I knew it. I didn't even... When am I eating this?
I don't know.
Let me check the ingredients. Water, fortified wheat flour, thiamine, hydrochloride, shortening, palm oil, breadcrumbs, calcium, salt, yeast, brown, egg, raising agents. Raising agents?
I don't know.
Well, it seems to have a lot of healthy stuff in it. Best before end. See end of can. Is that a lie? What end of can? What's that? Is this the end of the can? So I have to eat this by 8:42. That's if I'm reading that number correctly. 8:42. PM or AM? Is this? Look, it even labeled it right on. In case you didn't know, it was spotted dick. It's not just spotted dick. It's a spotted dick sponge. It's all about where you put the emphasis of a word. It's a spotted dick sponge. That's right. This would be a CPU episode, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna eat some dick.
We have other cake today, anyway.
Yes, we do. That was awesomely made. I've never wanted to eat pineapple. I now wanted to eat it twice in my life. Once when it was made homemade for Diana when we were visiting in Las Vegas. That was an earlier vlog, and then once today, and that will be vlogged as well. So, lightly spiced sponge pudding with sultanas.
That's a type of raisin.
Yeah, because the name Spotted Dick was too appetizing. They needed to, take it down further. I'd say that destroyed momentum, but really that probably made my day. Thank you, Liz.
You're welcome.
I appreciate
It's Friday.
That. Really made my day. It is Friday. And back to the Starbucks topic. So John tried it, and he was surprised. But it's how you get the coffee ground. I'm still exchanging Starbucks gift cards that I had earned. And I make the coffee at home. I make Starbucks coffee at home. And I like it. Love it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be drinking it at home. So that's my answer there. And question number 7. What is the most expensive Darth Vader figure that you own? If someone offered you $1 million to sell your entire collection, would you sell it? Have a good day. $1 million? Yeah, because I could always start it again. I mean, I don't think my collection's worth anywhere near $1 million. Well, give me a week. I'm trying to think. The most expensive one, it might be the AFA graded Darth Vader at the 12 back. In pretty decent condition. I think it's 75, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. This might be the most expensive one. I gotta be careful. 75. AFA graded 75. Right there. Like hell. I will not let you get across the border with this. So, I won this in an eBay auction. 12 back there. It's not a double telescoping lightsaber, though. Still, I'm very, very happy to have this in my collection. And this is probably the one that's worth the most, if only because it is, as I said, AFA graded. And I can't imagine any other one that's as valuable. A lot of the stuff that I think has been valuable has been the homemade art, like the action figure painter painting, the needlepoint or I guess craft work that Jasmine did, some other stuff that I got on Etsy. I met a guy at Comic-Con here in Seattle, and he basically made a Darth Vader out of wood. There's a guy that I follow on social, and what he does is he arts up a Darth Vader helmet and then sells it. And those are pretty pricey too, but it's original art around a Darth Vader helmet. And I've always wanted to get one. When I see one that I think, yeah, that's the one I want. He takes old Mac keys and Darth Vader's it up. Or I guess puts it on Darth Vader. And I'll have to find the artist's name. I can't remember it offhand. But yeah, that's one of those that I would hope to be able to get in my collection as well. So that is the answer there. Next Brian H. asks, I've seen that awesome desk since I first found you online, and honestly, it looks perfect. That being said, what do you look for in a desk? Shelves and storage, simple and sleek. Do you remember what company made the desk that you've had past 5 years or so? Brian, so yes, go.tagjag.com/desk will redirect you to a blog post that I made, and it's iconic. I've known at least 4 other people on this planet who have purchased the exact same desk, the exact same setup, even the ticks clocks, exactly the same, just to have the Chris Pirillo desk. It would be neat though. I wish I had that pull to be able to have a signature desk, but I liked this desk because it had a return. I liked the way it was designed. I'm a fan of darker wood. This is a kind of a cherry stain, or it's reddish, brown, dark, and it fits. It really fit me, and I like the fact that I could attach a return. That I had a couple of accessory drawers. These are separate, and in fact, this hutch here, I'm about to get another one that is going to be for the desk over on the other side of the workshop, which you've seen a million times over, I'm sure. But the other hutch that they have has an empty space in the middle, and then on each side it's flanked by a couple of doors. So I'll have more cabinetry up there and over there for when guests come over and want to use the workshop, and they've got their own desk, but also there for more Darth Vader collectibles. That's right. It's going to be a big year for Star Wars. I got to make room, and so I did. And wait till you see the vlog. Because I've made a lot of changes. Well, not a ton of changes, but some shifting around of resources here in the workshop over the past few days, if only because of the ceiling getting patched up. Although I noticed they didn't get one part as well as they thought they did, so I got to follow up with that. Joseph Smiley asks a question that I don't know if I want to answer publicly, so I'll answer it privately. Brian Roberts, sorry Brian, asks, who started the fire? Hey, we didn't. That's all I know. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning. Since the world's been turning. Am I really the only Billy Joel fan in the room?
I would sing along. I was just getting the patron hangout link ready. Sorry.
I just feel.
Am I gonna miss hearing me say sorry?
No, because I got you on the hangout.
Oh, that's true.
Earl Green asks, 2 of the 3 organizations developing wireless charging technology have merged. Wow. Do you think this is good or bad news? I think it's great news. Because instead of 3 pillars working independently and having a certain amount of resources, limited resources, and limited intelligence, even if they have great intelligence, combined with their combined strength, they can rule the galaxy as father and son and daughter. Because it's 3 of them. Okay, that's where I quit. I was trying to do... Never mind. I'm not even going to tell you. If you don't know, I'm not going to waste my breath with what I'm saying right now. So I think it's great because it could very well accelerate everybody's plans to bringing wireless technology to the forefront. And this is something that I've been longing for a long time. One of the most radical changes that I think my workshop has undergone over the past few months, really, is the elimination of wires and cables. I have not gone fully wireless, of course, but most of the things that I need to connect online are connected by Wi-Fi. Most, not all. And I've been stripping away various devices that I once used but don't really use all that often. I'm like, why do I have this cable just hanging out here? I pulled them all. So I'm a huge fan of going wireless. Now, with wireless charging, even better. Because part of the move that I've been doing this week, and this wasn't a radical change from the home office workshop tour that I just recorded, did that on New Year's, and the patrons have access to it right now. Everybody else will get it in about 10 days or so when we relaunch the classic channel, the channel that's been the vlogs. The classic LockerGnome channel. The produced CPU episodes are going into that channel. This Geek Lifestyles channel is going forward with long-form content like this one. So you get long-form content here, like the Q&A and the TLDR and the live streams that we do in this channel. The edited stuff with tech and geekiness is not just tech crap that I'm going to be sharing there. I'm also going to be doing videos of spotted dick sponges. And, let's say, the Phantom Lego set, which I finally got. I know you were wondering about that. But I might also be doing, if I can get it to work right, I'll be doing a video on this one, the CPU episode. This is called Light Pack. I have not had a chance to try it yet. The idea is you can put it behind a TV, a Mac, or a PC, and what happens is if you're watching a movie or a video or doing anything gaming or whatever, what'll happen is behind it, the bars, if they're placed appropriately and you've configured the software accordingly, what'll happen is the lights will glow behind it. So it extends that experience, and I think it'd be kind of neat to try, if only behind the iMac. And I got a second one as well, so if it works well, I may try to attach it to behind the TV across from me here in my workshop. The other tech stuff that I have is moving down to the production studio. I'm going to be putting a lot of the cables and clutter that I have down there. That's what I was kind of getting to. I'm just looking to eliminate a lot of that stuff. I've got so many cables, and I can't get rid of it. I'm like thinking, well, what if I need it? 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 I get so many. I don't know where the cables come from. They fall like manna from heaven. Except for that one cable that you inevitably need. That's that one cable. Here, John will be happy. When he reached into the drawer looking for a card reader, it was kind of a mess. But in my reorganization, I've got my Apple cables and clutter in here. And these are my USB drives, including... And here's a little... here's your bit of trivia, Chris Pirillo trivia for today. When did Chris Pirillo receive this? It is the USB tampon. This is a flash drive. It is in the shape of a tampon. I don't know. I've never really seen one up close and personal. But do you remember which vlog this appeared in? The first vlog. Do you remember which first vlog it appeared in? There's your trivia for today. John saw this. I still have it. Yes, because, I just can't bring myself to abandoning tampons. Yeah, it's used, sure, but I want to hold on to the used tampon USB drive. That's what I'm saying. You knew I was going there, Liz. And if you didn't know I was going there, what's wrong with you? You should have known I was going there. And if I didn't go there, you should have gone there. You should have asked, is it used? Did you put a used tampon back? No, it's not. It's a USB tampon. Well, I'm not the one who gave me spotted dick sponge, so... Yeah, is that an affliction? Isn't it? We have a real live registered nurse in the house. Is that an affliction?
Some people have spotted dick.
I have spotted dick right now as well. Should I call? Is this something that I need to go get checked? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna set an appointment.
Have a live guess.
Hey, a guess?
Yeah, Gavin Howe
Yes.
says vlog 2 or 3.
That's right. It was the second or third vlog. I couldn't even tell you right now.
Cassie Lowe, that was from one of the first few.
That's
vlogs.
right. It was fun. It was exciting.
John got it right on.
No one sends me.
Oh, that's from vlog number 2.
Yeah, no one sends me tampons anymore. They just give me spotted dick sponges. I'm going to do, well, good. I need some gauze, I think, when I eat this. No, I don't. I've got sponge. You don't need gauze if you have sponge. I'm going to make an appointment with the doctor, and I'm going to say, I got a problem. And then I'm going to, unzip my pants, and this is going to fall out. Yeah, I told you, I got spotted dick. I don't know what to do.
Oh.
He might want to eat some. He might want to eat my spotted dick. I don't know.
Sam lives...
I'm sorry, spotted dick sponge.
You can have Sam over.
Is this something you just, suck the juices out of the sponge? I don't know.
Put custard on it or something with
I don't know what you do. I've never... Does it look like I'm a spotted dick expert?
Yes.
What do you expect? You give an American something called spotted dick, and what did you think was going to happen? Adam Toms asks, I am a geek dad to be. You are? Adam? Oh my God. Congratulations. What advice would you and Diana give as you guys are such great parents? Well, thank you. You also don't see when we're horrible parents either. We only share the good things. No, I think we're doing as well as we could do. Are we doing everything right? I have no idea. You know what? Jedi's happy. Or if she's not, she's faking it really well. And I don't think she's of the age of being able to fake it. She's seems to be a good baby, pretty happy. Apart from when weird things are happening to her and she doesn't understand what's going on. I found out today that she loves Master of the House and Castle on a Cloud from the Les Mis soundtrack. She just started beaming. I was like, Master of the House. Wow. And then I gotta say, crying is not allowed here in my Castle on a Cloud. I gotta sing that to her, and she stopped crying. So I think she kind of understands me. My advice is stay tuned to the vlogs. We're going to be, of course, experiencing life as new parents there. I would love to be able to do a regular parent series, but I think that's going to evolve into live streams we're doing with other family vloggers.
Raising a Jedi?
I don't think that's what it's going to be called. Not until she wants to have it be called that. Honestly, this is one of the reasons why we share pictures, and of course she's in the vlog, but I'm hesitant. Anytime, I mean, we may joke around, oh, she thinks this, oh, she's saying this. I won't put that in the vlog because I don't want to give her a voice. I'll give the dogs a voice because they don't have a chance, but I don't want to give her a voice such that it's like with her social feeds, I don't want to publish anything. I want to reserve the names like Instagram and Twitter. I'm not worried about Facebook or YouTube at this point, but I want her to be in control of those things. I think that's something I want to say for her. So for as much as we've done what we've done with her, I'm reserving that certain parts for her. So congratulations. I think Starbuck is an amazing name. Unfortunately, a lot of people would think, oh, you like coffee. No, I like Battlestar Galactica. Of course, we went with Jedi for all the right reasons that I'm not going to explain over and over again. If someone asks, someone else can explain it. That's why I'm grateful to have such a supportive community. My advice, let's see here, if I can encapsulate it. I'll try to give 3 tips at least. 1, take advice. And especially you're going to get unsolicited advice, but make it your own. Do what you believe needs to happen. 2, don't get overwhelmed. Because I think that's one of the things that we weren't really prepared for. You don't know what to be prepared for. You just kind of roll with the punches. And I see a lot of parents getting overwhelmed with things that they don't ever possibly need or would never possibly use. Don't go overboard. Go underboard or go bored. Because you will not be bored. You'll learn what you need and you'll be able to get it. You can prepare ahead of time. We, of course, had picked up furniture and the crib for Jedi, but she hasn't spent a lot of time in there because we're kind of around and she has different sleeping patterns we've discovered, and we figured out how to make it work. So don't be afraid to ask for help, but don't be afraid to changes is needed to accommodate the baby, and you're gonna figure it out. Every parent's gonna find their own groove. What works for one parent is not necessarily going to work for you. So don't be afraid. Don't lose yourself. It'll be an amazing experience full of twists and turns, and it's a learning process, and you'll discover things about yourself you didn't know existed in you, and you'll discover things about babies that you didn't even realize. Well, how is this possible? This baby is full of so much. I mean, you give it a lot, but I think the baby's outputting more than we're inputting.
Yeah, it's still growing.
Oh, it's growing. Yeah, but wouldn't that mean that it's keeping it? Why is it expelling so much? So you're gonna learn a lot. You're gonna have fun with it. That's what you got to do. Have fun with it. And Adam, just keep tuned to the vlogs. And I'm not an expert parent. I'm just a new one. She's in good spirits. She was in great spirits the other day. Max Van de Wheel asks, what are your hopes for the new default Windows 10 browser? And what do you think about the first leaked pictures? They look decent. I hope it doesn't suck. I hope it's competitive. I don't think it will be. I don't think it can be. Google Chrome is cross-platform. Microsoft really isn't likely going to make Internet Explorer, as it's not going to be named. I believe they're giving it a new name altogether, and it's not going to be competitive because it's just for Windows. And Safari is primarily for OS X, but it's based upon WebKit, which, of course, is open source. And I wouldn't say Safari is cross-platform. Potentially, it could be. There are the pinnings. The underpinnings could be cross-platform. Apple's taking a different route or a different strategy with what it is based Safari on with OS X. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see user adoption with the new web browser. I think a lot of people are inclined to go with Google Chrome, though. I mean, not just because it's cross-platform, but because they trust Google, for better or for worse. So I hope it doesn't suck. That is my hope. What does it mean that it doesn't suck? That it's able to kind of live past its foundations and be as competitive as it can be, certainly on Windows, to be a browser that isn't just a web browser for what it is, but really extends the experience for the user beyond the web browser, honestly. And that's something that Apple's got going within its own ecosystem. Microsoft's done to a certain degree, a limited fashion in the past with Internet Explorer, but I believe it was about time. Tommy NC 2010 asks, Chris, this question's about your career here on YouTube. When you get older, what is your philosophy on retirement? I answered that in a vlog, actually, just recently. What will you do when you get older and can't do the things you're used to? Are you going to do what your dad does and go out and see a lot of things? No. The thing is, I'm going to stay at home and watch more things on the TV. More Frasier reruns. The thing is, you are an entrepreneur, so I'm curious as to what your ideas for retirement. What will happen in the future for Patreon? Just curious questions. Would love to know your reply. Thank you, Chris. Can't wait to chill with you guys. Indeed, Tommy NC 2010, not Tommy NC 17, like I accidentally said in the Christmas vlog. I did not mean to do that. But yeah, I kind of answered this at length in the vlog, so I don't want to dive too deeply into Tommy, but I think I'm going to keep doing things, but it'll obviously kind of evolve. I would hope that Jedi is able to find her passions and carve out a career around her passions, and that I can help her with that. And honestly, as much as when I start singing or there's music playing, we're not talking about kids' music. I mean, I'm singing my own music, the music that I like. She's cooing along, and I'm like, I kind of wonder if I'd be able to encourage her to use her voice in a way that I couldn't. I mean, I'm in awe with people who have talents, singing talents, musical talents, programming talents, engineering talents, talents that I just don't possess. And that's why I'm very respectful for those who can do the things that I can't do. So I hope that as I'm older, maybe I'd be able to pick up a thing or two, learn something new, and enjoy life, while I'm alive, and potentially help Jedi along and building a life for herself, and helping her in a way that I wasn't helped because I couldn't be helped in the ways that I had basically let my career kind of evolve. My dad helps me with certain things that I can't do well, so I'm grateful that he's able to give his experience to me, especially as an adult. I would hope to be able to do the same thing for Jedi, not exactly the same, but to be a guide for her as she continues to explore her life. So that's my retirement. My retirement will be raising a Jedi. That's what I'm going to do right there. Joe Tashi. Hey, Joe. And thank you again for all your Christmas gifts, both Tommy, Joe, and everybody. Hey, Chris, what's going on with CPU? Couldn't find the links. Are you still doing it live? Glad you enjoyed the movie. Yes, the Plastic Galaxy movie. That is going to be one of the next CPU episodes. So what we're doing, we have a backlog of sorts of CPU episodes. John's editing like 10 of them or so. What's going to happen is we've got them on pause. So we're going to kick up the live stream behind the scenes CPU broadcast that the patrons can tune into, and the republishing of the edited CPU episodes that everybody can watch. Of course, patrons get a preview of those as well. And that begins on the 19th. On the 19th, or right around the 19th, that is when a lot of things change. Pirillo vlogs move into their own YouTube channel, which already exists. You can subscribe to us there if you want the vlogs. Geek Lifestyles channel is pretty much the only thing that really doesn't change. We'll still be doing TLDR, CPU behind the scenes, Q&A with you and me, live geek outs, hangouts, a lot of long-form content, geeky kind of content in this channel. And then the classic channel, the one that's had been the vlogs for the longest time, because that was a very personal thing for me, and it was a Chris Pirillo channel. That classic channel is going to have all those edited CPU episodes. That's where it's going to go. So we're not going to do it again or start up recording CPU episodes until the January 19th, because John needed a break. And then those 10 that we have in the can, including the Plastic Galaxy review, they're all on the same day that we relaunch the classic channel. We're just going to launch it with a bang. I mean, just huge, like, bam! These are the types of videos we're doing. Plastic Galaxy movie review, the Surface Pro 3 review, a brick build, some beer. I mean, it's just a smattering of things that I think are awesome. And we're going to do one new CPU episode every weekday. So that's where they are. That's where they're coming. And I think a lot of people are going to be happily surprised. I didn't want to launch with just one thing. I wanted to have a smattering, a variety of things that interest me, because honestly, that's the kind of stuff I want to do. I don't want to do something that doesn't interest me. I can't. I mean, imagine if I sat here and talked about a random gadget that I didn't care about. The video would suck. I can't talk about things that I don't care about. Except spotted dick. I don't care about it, but it's a curiosity. I gotta feed my need for spotted dick, which I will do. I'm saving this for a CPU episode, though. So I will try spotted dick for the first time in CPU. Joe asks, what are your tips for staying motivated when you feel discouraged? See, that's the thing. So I've been discouraged at some points in the past. I've had a change where change was needed. I just keep thinking. I keep how can I make things better? I'm not happy with something. How can I keep tweaking until I am happy? keep moving forward with these models. And there are certain things that I do that don't make me happy. And to me, to stay motivated, you got to find that happiness, and that happiness is elusive. I've talked about this in the vlogs as well, and I'm doing my best. The vlogs aren't just moving pictures of my dogs, so at least not anymore. We also have talking babies. That's what she sounds like right now. She's not making or forming any words, but she did laugh for the first time. I'm kind of proud of that. So, to stay motivated, you gotta know what's going to keep you motivated. And part of what keeps me going is knowing that I can do things better. I've never had perfection. I seek perfection, but I've never had it. I view the same thing. This is the same approach I take to technology. I don't want this to be the perfect device. This new iPad Air 2 that I have here, don't want it to be perfect. Don't want the Surface Pro 3 to be perfect. Don't want a Samsung device to be perfect. Don't want any device to be. I don't want any technology to be perfect. Why? Because if it was perfect, why would you ever upgrade? I always want to upgrade. I want this to be good enough for now. And I look at life the same way. So when I'm feeling, that I could do better, it keeps me moving forward, and that makes me happy. The workshop has undergone, I would say, a pretty big transformation in the sense that I kind of cleared out the closet. A lot of the tech stuff is gone from the workshop. It's moved down to the production studio, where it made a lot of sense to keep cables and technology, including the old technology. And that's not even, you'll see what I'm doing with it, and I think a lot of people will be happy with what I'm doing with it, because a lot of the old tech that isn't as collectible, but it's kind of fun to have in a production studio, has floated to the production studio as that comes together. And then that's when I'm going to be able to have light that works better than the light that I do for live streams. And then when I need to do a video that's edited, and I can do it there, and it's cleaner, it's uncluttered, I have a chance to do something in a way that an editor could really do amazing things with it. Not that they couldn't do it with this particular setup, but it's just a different setup for a different environment. So when Jerry comes over for a geek out, or if I have a guest over, we can do a live stream there and flip a switch, and we're off to the races. Or when I'm doing a brick build and I'm assembling, Lego sets, I can do it. I can do it there on a big table, and I've got a camera going and live stream. I've even got a tripod. The old Manfrotto tripod, goes up and it flips over, so I can shoot straight down, and I can get different angles in a better environment, and I can then do reviews of products in a different capacity. So I could shoot it much the same way other people have done it. Like when they're doing toys and they're looking at toys like up close and personal, they've got a better view, better lighting, better experience altogether. And so it's just going to allow me to do different things. Are those videos going to be perfect? No. Nothing I've done has been perfect. Nothing. Except for one thing. Jedi. That's the one thing I've done perfectly. Even though she's imperfect. You can't expect perfection from anybody, but in terms of anything that I might have done, I couldn't have done better. And not like I had a choice. I mean, it wasn't really my, but I am going to say I was 50% responsible for the making of the child. So it was the years that went in. Actually, I don't think it took years to do. I don't know. So that's the most perfect thing that I've done, and it's not even perfect. Mitchell C. McClendon. Sorry if I'm going a little long today, but I do want to make sure that the patrons who did ask got their bonuses, and this is part of that, the AMA, giving them priority. Mitchell C. McClendon asks, I know that you do most of your work using your iMac, MacBook Pro, and your iPad Air 2. How often do you work on using your Surface Pro 3? Thank you. Mitchell, not often. I use it to test programs that are only available on Windows, to kind of look at any kind of new updates that I might see coming down the pike that would be interesting, and if only to get experience with it. The Surface Pro 3 is my go-to Windows device, much like I would say my go-to iOS device is probably my iPhone. My go-to Android device is currently my Nexus 7. My go-to Mac... Oh, excuse me. For video editing, I'm using the MacBook Pro. For a lot of the getting stuff done during the day, I'm primarily at the iMac. And I know I could use the iMac for video editing, but I use the notebook for it because I can do it from the other room. I can do it from anywhere. So it's a mobile workstation. And it's very, 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 very powerful, and very, very happy to do it. So it just depends on what I'm doing. I have a lot of go-to devices. But honestly, I've got a lot of older devices I don't even know what to do with. I mean, I don't even know if I can sell them or give them away. because they're just sitting there collecting dust. They're not worth anything. They're like 2 generations old. Like no one, if I talked about them now, no one would care. So I don't talk about them because I don't care. They're gadgets. They're ready to be exchanged. They're money waiting to happen. I got to find out a little more information about how I might be able to get rid of those. Maybe at GnomeDex, I'm going to begin talking about this soon, or again and again. I ran an event called GnomeDex for 10 years. I want to reboot the brand, bring it back to what its original vision was, or closer to it. A gigantic expo of not just internet celebrity. I hate using that word, but a lot of people are aware of this. People who have notoriety, who are kind of geeky or nerdy in general, and do things online. I was doing that with the first GnomeDex. So I'm going to be reaching out to all the geeky YouTubers that I know of, and the geeks who live and thrive on Twitter and Facebook and Tumblr. And you don't have to just be on YouTube to have notoriety in being a geek. But yes, I'll be reaching out to the tech geeks, the Minecraft geeks, the toy nerds, the black nerds. Yeah, sorry, that was Andre. He's the only one. Sorry, Andre, you're the only black nerd in my book. I'm just giving that part of me, that part of my heart at least, to you. You are my black nerd. If it's geek culture, nerd culture, anything that's just remotely geeky, I think no one's done a YouTube event like that or an online media event like that. GnomeDex could then be short for Geeks and Nerds on Omni Media Expo. So think of it like a vlogger fair for geeks and nerds. That's what it's going to be. So I want to get Disney involved because I want to bring Star Wars there, obviously. I would love to get Lego involved because I love Lego and there are a lot of adult fans of Lego. And just put them all into the same room together. Can you imagine? Here's what I'd want to do. I would dream of this, right? We got to reach out to Lego. This is what we got to do. Liz? Well, I'm getting there, Jedi. Don't worry, you're going to love this. So what we're going to do, here's my challenge, because I'm inviting all the geek YouTubers. What I want, Marquez Brownlee to square off against Linus Sebastian, and we're going to give him not just 2 Lego sets, we're going to give him 2 Lego Mindstorm sets, and they have to assemble a robot that's badass. And at the end of an hour, whoever's got the most badass Mindstorms robot gets something. Wow. I don't know what we have to give them, but wouldn't that be amazing?
Oh,
So
yeah,
you're not going to get a Chris Pirillo mouse pad. Those things are worthless. They weren't even worth anything when I got. This is how Chris ended up with merchandise that no one wanted. Like someone said, "Hey Chris, you should put your face on a mouse pad." Oh, everyone will buy it. You know how many people bought it? Nobody. That's right. You know why? Because nobody cares. I know. Hey Chris, why don't you do something with a t-shirt? Because no one will buy it. Are you sure? Yeah, because when I've done it before, no one buys it. Well, maybe you've done it wrong. Well, obviously I've done it wrong, but I'm not going to get back into merchandising anytime soon. But everybody else is doing it. Well, if everybody else is doing it, then they're going to get the merchandising that they're selling. But unfortunately, no one really wants your face. So I'm not putting words in anybody's mouth. I'm just a scenario. I will be inviting Marquez. I will be inviting Linus, as well as any other geek that I know. Basher, of course, one of the bigger Minecrafters out there. Brick Queen, if I can. She's one of the big toy reviewers on YouTube. Huge deal, the toys. And it's just geeky. The big cosplayers. I want Yaya Han. I don't know how I can do that, but I want Sideshow Collectibles. I want the geekies all together. Don't leave the bottle up there, hon. I know what you're doing. I know. Which every once in a while I walk into my workshop and there's a random bottle where a stormtrooper was. You doing well, Jedi? She was good this morning. So anyway, GnomeDex is going to be an event for geeky and nerdy YouTubers. I don't know how the hell I got off on that, but anyway, just throwing it out there. I haven't invited anybody. I'm not saying that they're going to be there, but I will bend over backwards to get all the big geeky YouTubers here. Gotta find sponsors, though. Billy St. John asks, what is your favorite album of all time? Ooh. Oh, this one's tricky. I want to say Apollo 18. They Might Be Giants. Might be my favorite. If only because that was the album that converted me into a TMBG fan for life. Then again, I'm a fan of Moxie Fruvis as well. And despite what Xion is going through, Mike, Dave, Murray still deserve the credit they deserve. Bargainville was the thing that hooked me on Moxie Fruvis. Right around the same time, too. Yeah, I'm going to go Apollo 18 on this one. Apollo 18. For a band that's still around. For a band that's no longer around, I'm going with Bargainville. Moxie Fruvis, still one of my favorite bands of all time for their music. So that's all the questions I have, at least on this page refresh, and definitely got to start winding down because I got to spin up a hangout that I've got to do with the patrons right now. Got to. I love doing this, and I know I really upset. Who did I upset the other day? She was upset when I was messing around with John and you.
Oh, Kayla.
Kayla, I apologize. I do apologize. I was just kind of in a silly mood. When I hang out and when I'm doing a hangout and stuff, I tend to get silly. I don't want to be too serious. And honestly, the questions that were coming in were good questions, but they're kind of silly questions too. So I was having fun. I'm not going to apologize for having fun, but I do apologize that it offended your sensibilities. If that that sounded bad too.
Just don't.
I just feel bad. I mean, I don't want anybody. I'm just feeling, if I'm feeling silly, just let me be silly. That's all I'm saying. I do apologize that we just kind of missed the mark there.
It all evens out in the end.
I hope it evens out. So thank you. I do as much as I possibly can do, but I also got to stay true to myself. Yeah, kind of do. Because if I don't, then I got to stay true to Wicket. I know, because he's a dog. That's why. It's really all I have today. Monday's AMA will still be happening, obviously, unless something else happens in between.
It's posted on Facebook.
Yes, the open Facebook thread you can participate in case you are ignoring my Facebook page. You should not. You should set it up for notifications because we post all sorts of cool stuff there. And you kind of have to because Facebook doesn't want to show you anything that I share. And I share a lot. I probably overshare. I'm not wearing any pants right now.
I'm vlogging you right now. You have pants on.
No.
Oh, your spotted dick is out.
I got spotted dick. Been meaning to tell you that, hon. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I love you. I appreciate you. And thank you for anything and everything you might do to help accelerate the content that we're doing for you every day. But at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices.